welcome back to another one of my YouTube tutorials. This time it's Gear's Secret and I'm going to talk about this little gadget, an eBow. Yeah, the eBow, it has been long in the music world. Invented by 1969 by a company called Heat Sound, patented in 1978. What does it do? Well, first of all, it comes with a little bag and a sticker, but I've lost the sticker. So yeah, what does it do? Well, how does it work? Well, in an eBow, you find two coils. You find a pickup coil and you find an exciter coil and an amplifier in between. And when you employ the eBow, the pickup coil picks up the signal from the string, sends it through the little amplifier, and then the exciter coil emits an oscillating electromagnetic field, which causes the string to vibrate in the frequency the pickup picked up. And then you've got a little feedback loop operating in this machine, and the whole shebang is powered by a little 9-volt block inside. And with the feedback loop, it's basically feedback, what you're doing here, a very sophisticated one, but feedback. And you can basically keep your guitar sustaining forever or until the battery runs out. So that's how it works on a physical level. Well, how do I play it? Well, it's very easy, basically. You've got two little rails here. And on these little rails, you rest the eBow on the strings adjacent to the one you're playing. And then the eBow is exactly parallel with the string which is ringing. And then the feedback loop is working its magic and you hear that tone. I always keep the eBow like that. Thumb here, and index, middle, and ring finger here, and the little finger I've got on the switch. By the way, this is a switch which goes in two directions. If you switch it like that, you've got the note sustaining forever. And if you switch it in the other direction, the frequency of the electroharmonic field gets doubled. So you've got an octave up. Yeah, I normally use it in normal mode or classic mode or what have you. Well, I've checked the manual by the fine people at Heat Sound, and they recommend putting your guitar neck pickup, and they recommend using humbuckers for it. Well, if you look at my little guitar here, you see that I've got very strange pickups. These are Seymour Duncan P rails, and you can put them in humbucking mode, P90 mode, or single coil mode by these little switches here. And I've got this pickup selected, and I've put it in humbucking mode. So I'm basically doing what the manual recommends. And then I take my eBow. I always use the little finger to switch it on or off. And now it's on, of course. And then I have to look for the spot which gives me the best or nicest feedback. Of course, I know the spot on each of my guitars, but if I were new to it, I would have to find it. Right where I left it, obviously. Yeah. Once you found the sweet spot, memorize its position, and then, well, you can sustain notes, and you can use your left hand as usual. That's not hard. The hard part is actually skipping strings. Yeah, if you like to skip strings, you have to take care that the eBow stays in the sweet spot and is not moved vertically along, horizontally along the string, because then your signal will get quieter and you don't have the same volume quality to it like if you are in the sweet spot. So you have to use it vertically in the sweet spot, and you have to have it rest exactly parallel to the string. And if you want to like play a string change, I normally do it like that. You see, I'm sliding over these little rails to have it in the correct position. I don't use force, don't push it. You just be loose with your right hand, absolutely relaxed, and slide it vertically up and down. However, playing the first and the sixth string can be a challenge though, because you don't have the second string to rest the eBow upon, and you have to keep it over the string parallel to it by hand, and that can pose a bit of a challenge. But you see, I'm doing it wrong at the moment. And the challenge is to not have the bow fall over. yeah, because you don't have the second string. Same with the low E string, yeah, like. And here it folds over the other side, and you have to be very careful that it stays parallel to the string, and that's actually a little bit challenging. But this is the basic mode in playing the eBow. However, there are a few techniques I would like to bring to your attention. One being you can also play staccato notes by like bringing the eBow down in playing position. And raising it up. You just touch the string, you just touch the shortly and then raise the eBow again from your instrument. This, however, requires a little bit of practice, but finally you get used to it. And the other thing which the eBow is famous for is this little effect. This sounds cool, doesn't it? Well, I'm just fretting a chord with my left hand, and then I go to the sweet spot and, well, do very, very quick string changes. Well, here you see, this is always a challenge, high E string. Very third technique, you don't see that often, but it absolutely works, yeah, is when you just move horizontally along the sweet spot, and then, well, watch what happens. I'm actually bowing the guitar here, but I produce a very, very, very natural tremolo that way, like you would do with a stringed instrument, which is bowed and not plucked, like a guitarist. That's also a playing technique you find. Actually, it is worthy to do things the manual not recommend, because this works perfectly with single coils as well. I'm putting this guitar into single coil mode. There's a little blade single coil here. I have to find the new sweet spot though. I'll have to turn the guitar up as well. It works perfectly with single coils as well. And actually, it also works with the bridge pickup. I've put the bridge pickup in single coil mode to do everything Heat Sound doesn't want me to do. And you see, if I now search for the sweet spot, it's not over the pickup. It's somewhere here. I've tested that out beforehand. And you can produce really, really cool drones that way. I mean, single coil, bridge position. I forgot to turn my volume up again. Now that's a cool drone, isn't it? After you've mastered the basic playing techniques of an eBow, you might want to try sound design with it. I'm going to show you how to produce some tones with the eBow. Actually, before I do so, I need to show you two things. First of all, this guitar is running into a Line 6 Helix. And in the Line 6 Helix, I've got the Clarity amp model, because you need an amp with a little bit of headroom to play with an eBow, because the eBow, well, it makes the string vibrate at a much higher amplitude than the string vibrates if you just pluck it. So the whole signal becomes louder, and you do, well, maybe you want a heap load of distortion on it. I normally don't. You can turn down the volume on your guitar as well. Will have the same effect basically than just selecting an amp or an amp model with a high headroom. Yeah, that's the first thing I wanted to tell you. Second thing is, well, what can we do with an eBow? When playing with an eBow, the tone control on your guitar becomes very powerful. So always use a guitar with a tone control. Listen to my basic clean tone. Nice clean tone, lots of reverb. Well, I like it that way. If I now introduce the eBow, you see it gets very loud and you get that kind of feedback overdriven tone. Yeah, that's nice, and I've used it that way loads of times. But now let's play with the tone control. I'm putting it all the way down. Still neck pickup selected, humbucking mode, and I get a tone like that. And I think that sounds a little bit like a flute, doesn't it? What's also interesting is if you lower the tone control, still got it on free, and introduce a little overdrive pedal. Like here in my Helix, I've activated the Pillars pedal, which is a model of the excellent Earthquaker devices, Plumes. I get quite a different sound of tone. No, I want it to be overdriven, of course. I mean, this is the sound which just the overdrive gives me. But if I play now eBow with it, it sounds like that. And I think that sounds very, very nice, very round, very warm, almost like a singing saw would be something like that. I always connect this kind of tone with the theremin, an instrument I really, really like. You should definitely check out the theremin. Great instrument. Yeah, that's something you can do with it. And if I even introduce more effects, like I'm turning the tone control all the way down again. And now I'm introducing a pitch shifter, like the simple pitch by line 6. And I say, well, give me a second voice an octave higher. See what happens. Nothing because the volume is down, but see what happens. I think that sounds a little bit like an organ. I mean, you can make the octave a little bit louder, have it a little bit quieter. You can a little bit touch the strings with the eBow to simulate the click an organ would have. It's worthwhile experimenting with this kind of sound, but you get like in organ territory. Of course, a guitar will never sound like an organ, but it just reminds me of an organ if I play it like this. It's also interesting. I'm putting everything dimed here again to experiment with other intervals. Like if I go for a perfect fifth as a second interval, that's also interesting. And that's something I also experiment with in my music. Now we've reached the end of my little eBow tutorial. And now let's get creative. I mean, you get an eBow and do something with it. I'd be interested in the results. I'm going to do a little bit with an eBow now. I'm going to do a little improvisation in a Frippertronics environment. For those of you unfamiliar with Frippertronics, I made a different video about them. You might want to check that out to see what Frippertronics are. Well, basically, I'm now improvising in my Frippertronics environment I've done for the Line 6 Helix using an eBow. while the Frippertronics slowly fade out. Thank you very much for watching this video. You might want to like it, you might want to even subscribe my channel. I'd be very grateful if you did so. And in the meantime, have fun playing guitar.